महाभारतम् धर्म अधर्म संघर्षणम्.
Bhishma and others rejoiced in Hastinavati as the boys grew up to be healthy and sturdy. The children delighted the elders with their sports. Bhishma performed the Upanayana of all the boys at the appropriate age. The children began their education. Kripacharya, the son of a great sage called Sharadvanta, taught the Pandavas and the Kauravas the martial arts. The boys also studied the Vedas and other scriptures. They grew up to be very intelligent and strong. The Pandavas, endowed with all fine traits, were valiant like the gods. They prospered like the moon in the bright half of the month. Dhritarashtra's 100 sons also grew up to be brave. The Kauravas and the Pandavas used to play together, but in every game the Pandavas won, and Bhima was the cause. He surpassed the others in games, in running races, in wrestling, and even in eating. Bhimasena would lift up the Kauravas by their hair. He would dash their heads against one another. He would throw them up and catch them before they fell to the ground. He would hold them under water until they found it almost impossible to breathe. When they played at monkeys on trees, as they were sitting on branches, he would shake the trees until one after another they fell to the ground. There was no end to his pranks. But Bhima was no one's enemy. He played pranks only for fun and had no intention of holding anyone up to ridicule. But Duryodhana was bursting with envy. The Pandavas were with Bhima, weren't they? So he was jealous of them too. Day by day it grew until it turned into hatred. It grew so intense that he felt that if Bhima was somehow killed, the Pandavas would be weakened. One day, the Kauravas and the Pandavas went to the bank of the Ganga for sport. Playhouses had been set up for them. The Kauravas and the Pandavas played to their heart's content and were delighted. They were to have their dinner there. Delicacies waited for the princess, but in one plate there were poisoned delicacies. Only Duryodhana knew this. The Kauravas and the Pandavas, who had been sporting in the river for a long time, were hungry and began their repast. That day, Duryodhana displayed rare affection for Bhima, remarking, "Bhima outplayed us all this morning, so I shall give him these sweets." He made Bhima eat the poisoned sweets. The others, ignorant of his wicked design, clapped in appreciation. After the meal, they descended into the water once again and continued their games. Some jumped into the river from the top of tall rocks. They swam for several miles. Some lay on their backs on the water and floated. Others disappeared and stayed in the water for hours. They ran, they chased one another, and they escaped and immersed others in the water. Bhima harried some of them. After a while, the poisoned delicacies began to work. Bhima felt fatigued and acutely uncomfortable. To refresh himself, he lay down on the bank. Gradually, the poison spread all over the body and he lost consciousness. No one noticed this. Everyone was absorbed in his own pastime. Only Duryodhana was all eyes and watched Bhima. He saw that Bhima was unconscious. He collected creepers which had grown there and bound Bhima's hand and foot. With immense effort, he managed to drag him to the river and pushed him into it. No one had the slightest inkling of all this. Bhima sank in water and reached Patala, the lower world. There were deadly serpents there. They bit Bhima hard. This proved a blessing. Their poison acted as an antidote to the poison already in Bhima's body. Then Bhima regained consciousness. He dashed some of the serpents which had coiled round him against the ground and killed them. The rest fled. They went to their lord Vasuki and reported what had happened. Vasuki came to Bhima. He was happy to see this bright light of the Kuru race. He took him to his palace and treated him very hospitably. To celebrate Bhima's visit to Patala, he gave Bhima 8 pots full of Amrita to drink. This gave Bhima the strength of 10,000 elephants. With Vasuki's permission, Bhima returned to Hastinavati with renewed strength and zest. Kunti and the other Pandavas were worried because of Bhima's disappearance. They rejoiced at his return. They congratulated him on not only returning alive from Patala but acquiring tremendous strength. But the question remained, how did he come to sink in the water? They finally concluded that Duryodhana, the mischief monger, was at the bottom of it. They decided that henceforth they should be all eyes and ever alert. Duryodhana's anguish knew no bounds when Bhima returned. He wondered how Bhima survived despite being poisoned and drowned. He wrung his hands in despair, for things were getting out of control. He took a wicked decision. Somehow or the other, no matter how, Bhima should be eliminated, and if necessary, the other Pandavas should also be done away with. By this time, the Pandavas and the Kauravas had completed their education under Kripacharya. Acharya Kripa told Bhishma, Bhishma, these princes are very different from the run of princes. They are brave and valiant. Their thirst for martial arts knows no bounds. So they must receive more advanced training. Bhishma replied, You have always been the Acharya for the Kuru race. Who can give our lads better training than you? If there is such a master, pray tell me, we shall abide by your advice. Kripacharya said, I have a younger sister, Kripi by name. Her husband is Dronacharya. So far as I know, with the exception of Parashurama, there is no one to equal Dronacharya in the mastery of weapons. It would be fortunate if these boys could study under him, but I do not know where he is just now. Some unpleasant occurrence has embittered him. He has gone on pilgrimage with my sister. I hope one of these days he will come back. It would be our good fortune if he agrees to come here and teach these lads. Bhishma agreed. He sent messengers in different directions to find and bring Dronacharya.